Hi, my name's Johnny, and today we are taking a look at the American Standard Precision Bass from Fender. Now, you all know I used to be a total jazz bass guy, but over the last 2 years, I think I've really delved deep into the land of P basses. Love precision basses now. However, I've not really had much experience with the American line, specifically the American Standard line, because I don't like spending lots of money on guitars. Ironically, though, I guess I kind of do spend a lot of money on guitars now. But yeah, being able to fork out like over £1,000 on one instrument that I might not love, you know, is always a scary thing to me. So I've always kind of avoided purchasing American-made instruments. Hence why I kind of found my niche in enjoying the more affordable stuff and working on my technique and pedals and my amps and settings to get the best sound out of those more affordable instruments. And I really enjoy that process. Anyway, this bass that we're looking at today is not very relevant to the people today because you can't buy these new anymore. This is the American Standard P bass from about 2012. I have not bought this bass, it is on loan to me from Jay, so thank you so much for letting me feature this bass on the channel. So one thing that instantly stood out to me about this bass was the neck. It is flawless, it's so smooth, it's so nice. The neck is actually a modern C shape, so it's not your big old chunky baseball bat neck that you normally get on a 50s style P bass. Nothing wrong with the fretting at all, it feels so smooth. It comes with Fender's own ultra light machine heads. Now, one big thing that people always say that steps the more affordable guitars out from the more expensive ones is things like hardware and electronics. So normally on affordable basses, your machine heads aren't going to be that great. In my experience, I never normally have that much of a problem. These felt a bit cheaper to me though, compared to like my Squire, where it's a bit tighter to turn and make those adjustments. These will, when you start unwinding them, become really loose. Not in the fact that they're like wobbling about or anything like that, but that shocked me. I didn't think that was a sign of quality, but they hold their tuning super well, even with the new strings that we've got on there. So maybe that is just a sign of good quality, that they spin really nicely. I'm just used to playing rubbish ones, clearly. Full maple fretboard, maple neck, and the older body. It's just a classic combination. What I really like about this bass is the bridge. Fender say it's their high mass vintage bridge, and yeah, I can see that. It's a bit more substantial than your standard vintage bridge, which I'm sick of seeing now. So this is a really refreshing take on that style. It's just a little bit more substantial and allows you to string through the body and up the bass. And of course, that adds more sustain, and we'll get onto that in a bit. In terms of the knobbage, we've got a volume and a tone knob, classic P-bass stuff. You know, you don't need me to talk about that. Come on, let's move on. The pickups that are in here are some custom shop 60s voiced pickups. These are the pickups that come stock in the bass. Everything about this bass is stock, and these pickups are wonderful, I think. It's just so fundamentally classic P-bass. Let's have a listen to it all now. this thing sings. It sounds so nice. Classic P-bass tone, really. What else can you say? It's got some really nice bite to it, but it's not too trebly. Now, I mentioned earlier about that bridge and that it's string through. This thing sustains for days. At the end of this video, when we have a look at the bass in a mix, you'll be able to hear for yourself how much this thing sustains. It's awesome. Now, obviously you can't buy this bass right now. The equivalent of that at the minute is probably like the American Performer range, is it? That's out at the minute. If you were to buy one of these now, used, you can normally get them for about £700 here in the UK. And compared to like a Fender Player Series or standard Mexican or made in Mexico P-bass, normally get for around 400. Squire looking at 250 to 300. It is a better instrument, but are you getting that much more just because it's made in America? No, of course you're not. Of course you're not. It's all about quantities of scale and diminishing returns at the end of the day, isn't it? So the fact it's made in America, less mass produced, giving it more time and attention in the factory compared to the Squires where they're just chucking them out. Maybe not quite like that. You know me, I love a Squire. There's a lot to be said about buying basses nowadays and what you're getting for your value for money. Personally, I would snap one of these off. I would be happy snapping one of these up for like 600, but I know that wouldn't happen. If this was new, you're looking at between 12 and 1400 pounds, which the quality isn't increasing by 2 times if you're going from the Mexican up to the American range. With that being said, this is a phenomenal bass. Super well-rounded tone, and it's fundamentally got that classic P-bass tone, which we all know and love. So I can't fault it sound-wise at all, really. The only thing I would say is that the bridge, you've got to use an Allen key to adjust the saddles. When I was giving it a setup, I had to hunt around for a new Allen key because all my standard ones that I use for my basses normally didn't fit with it. Of course, like I said, I don't have the tools for this specific bass because the bass isn't mine, so that might be remedied if you were to buy one of these new or American one new and you get the tools with it that fit. But that was something that caught me off guard because normally all the basses I've used, use a screwdriver to adjust the saddles, so that threw me off a little bit. but we got there in the end. Ooh, it's Future Johnny from the future. A few little quality of life bits that I forgot to mention about this bass when recording this video a few weeks ago. Some little things like the hardware. So on my Squire Classic Vibe, the jack comes undone really easy, it's a regular thing that I've got to tighten the jack up, whereas it feels a lot better quality on this American bass. Also with the pots, you can tell that yeah, they are higher quality because when you're at 50%, there is a bigger change compared to when you're doing it on cheaper pots like in the Squires. Not to say the Squires sound bad at all, of course not, but this bass definitely has that ratio of turning the tone down, you know, spot on. I think that was all. Let's get back to it. So there we have it. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more stuff coming very soon, and let me know in the comment section below, do you think American basses are worth it compared to your Mexican or your Indonesian made Fenders? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.